Welcome to the Bird Cave, where you need two things. You need one of these, and I know a little something about this. Grab your brew, come on in and talk to the fellas. Let's go. What is going on, people? Welcome to the Bird Cave. Sorry we're a few minutes late. Your boy here had a little explosion here with the IPAs. I'm telling you something. This thing I opened it up and it was like Mount St. Helens volcano of some sort, bro.
GB
I don't know what happened.
Was telling an incredible story, and the beer loved it so much it just it couldn't contain itself any longer.
My God, dude! I opened that thing up. It's almost like you remember like the bar joke of like if you have like a Corona or any type of glass, and you just go and you just tap the top of the
and it
you kind of just fuzzes everywhere. That's exactly what happened when I opened up my can.
Like, oh, I heard.
Like, oh, bro, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Man.
Hey. Welcome back into another episode of the Bird Cave with my man GB, aka look at this. We got ourselves a little
AI. Really made me look like an Italian that got a tan. I look like Ivan Putski from back in the day. If you remember the Polish, what was his name? The Polish powerhouse, Ivan Putski.
Dude, I like what said too. You look like the actual dude, The Rock, like the old garbage man Rock, the guy that played on
Emerson.
Emerson, the guy played on Rudy and everything. I like that.
Charles S. Dutton.
There it is, Charles Dutton. Yeah,
put that
I like that.
Up where he's like,
I'm looking kind of svelte and a little jacked there, brother. I'm liking that one.
Yeah, what you do, man? I think you did this on purpose. I think you was like, man, make GB look like a. And make me buff and such. Nah, I'm kidding.
Listen, hey, it was cool. As you know, that was that picture we had before we started our pod with the fellas back in Trentham, New Kent, and all that stuff too. So it was a good time, man. AI just allows you to have a little bit of fun here and there, man. It's all good, brother. So I know you missed last week.
Yeah,
Mr. Wonderful and JJ came through. We had a great conversation. But I wanted you to take a little bit and take a first few minutes of this episode.
Oh yeah, let me tell you.
Talk about your 7-on-7 tournament that you were partaking in last week.
Yeah. So we had 7-on-7 tournament. The PA, it was organized by PA Elite. Shout out to Coach Will Dotson and the fellas, Rashad Mathis, Gary Caniglio. All the fellas at PA Elite. But at any rate, we had that on Friday. Okay. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I coached the 14U. I had Friday games, preliminary, right? And then we had the tournament on Sunday. Okay. So now the WPIAL basketball tournament also started on Friday. Okay. So last Monday, Avonworth was playing. I think they're playing Fox Chapel in hoops, and I told them I would ride with them in the postseason. But I didn't, because I was playing on Friday, or my team was playing on Friday. I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it to the postseason game.
Okay.
So, and I figured they was going to lose. So I went to the game on Monday. Me and Braylon went to the game on Monday because we both knew we weren't going to be there on Friday. And as fate would have it, we were correct. They lost 83-60, and the end. So I spent time with my boy. Went to go see my boys play hoops. They're not that. I mean, we're not a hoop, community. We play ball.
Right.
And stuff, not basketball.
Yeah.
But baseball, we'll be good at baseball too, though. But yeah, the hoop team is no good. So I support my boys, and I usually come in during the postseason is where I really start to really dial in. But I know my boys, and I knew they weren't going to make the postseason, so I had to go pay homage to all the Lopes boys. And it's a great senior class. It's some of the same dudes that play football too, you know. And so I wanted to see them go out. They've been playing together in hoops. This is how you know they just weren't, you know, it's just not their sport. They've been playing together since they were youth, and it's always been kind of where they're at. But they love playing together. They love having fun. Like they you see them laughing and joking on the sidelines and stuff. The community, like the camaraderie, is what I like to see. You know, even when they're competing, they're giving it everything they got, but they're just not hoopers. We don't do that here. So, absolutely. But it's fun to watch. But yeah, that's the reason why I was gone. You know, spend some time in the community, spend time with my family. I do that sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Here we go, Mark. Welcome,
yes,
welcome in.
Oh, I'm going this way. This way. Okay. There we go.
Good man, Derpy. Yep, days of our Steelers, man. We got some good Steelers talk here coming as well. Talking about the first pass of our free agent wish list. You know, we're about ready to start embarking on a lot of roster change. It's going to start with free agency. Last week, you know, we talked about, and we've spoken about this, so GB's had his thoughts too, of players that we believe or we would like to keep, ones we would let them walk, ones we probably don't have a choice but to let them walk. And then we're going to then get right into the draft. But it's first free agency. Then I saw a post on X that kind of got me going a little bit, and at least there was a mention of the Steeler defense. So they posted a tweet about the best championship defenses since 2000. And they had obviously the 2000 Ravens, the Buccaneers, both Seattle Super Bowl champions. They had the 2008 Steelers. They had the 2011 Packers, the Eagles, and a bunch. I think they had like 8 of them listed. So it got me thinking of, you know, I've read and I've heard a lot of great defenses since 2000, and very rarely have the Steelers been mentioned.
Right.
So I did a little digging. I got some receipts for some of these national peeps.
I see your receipts.
And I'm thinking right now the best defense since 2000 may not who you think it is. May not be who you think it is. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well.
So off the rip, because I really didn't get a chance to look at the list, right? If you were to ask me in the last 25 years who if you were to tell me, if you say, give me the top 3, okay, off the rip, I'm going to tell you first of all, it's the 08 Steelers. Let's start there, okay? That was historically speaking. I don't remember the numbers, but I know historically speaking, and I remember what my eyes saw too.
I'm gonna give you the numbers, brother.
Listen. Whitley Harrison, like that defense was so freaking good. It was almost perfect, and they got exposed a little bit in the postseason, but whatever. It was one game, right? And we ended up winning it, so it didn't matter. It was just made for a great Super Bowl, right? So that would be number 1 for me, right? Number 2, and it's tough because there was one, dude. That Tampa Bay defense was pretty special, pretty damn special. And then the Ravens, I want to say 2000, if it's 2000 in there, when they played the Giants.
Yeah, the 2000 Ravens.
That would be my top 3. I'd say the Steelers, 08, the Buccaneers 02, and then the Ravens. Then that's just eye test, just straight what I watching the games and everything. And that 2 and 3, bro, that if you ask me tomorrow, I may have switched it. Does that make sense? Because that's how close that one is, like 2A and 2B. But I'm definitely, but without a doubt, you know, the Seattle team had a good. The Seattle was at 15, had
14,
a good defense.
14,
14
yeah.
had a good defense. They were good.
100%.
Yeah, but the top three to like really stick out in my head, right from the rip, or
Yep.
those three. Them three was something.
You're not going to get much argument from me from a collective group of the top ones, but like I said, once we get through some of these free agents wish list of the Steelers, we're going to go ahead and dive into that bad boy, because it's there's some good and some like eye-opening stats that I don't think a lot of people and I get James Hemsley or Jameson Hemsley. I forget the guy's name. I know he's a Ravens beat writer, and he's like, oh hey, the Seahawks defense just almost as good as the Ravens in 2000. Like, just stop it. I mean, but again, both defenses are good. Maybe a singular game, you could put this Seahawks defense in there. But again, we'll get into that later. But first, man, if you guys are looking for a really cool place to go hang out weeknight weekends, I want to tell you guys something. Is go see my man Alex at Celebrations Banquet and Grill, 810 Steubenville Pike in Imperial. Look at that number, 724-695-4333. Proud sponsor of the Bird Cave, a friend of the Bird Cave. And if you were part of the Pitt football event with JJ Kitchen, you got to see Celebrations. It's a place, listen, it's a local bar. It's a banquet hall. They got an outdoor area. It's great. Some of the best wings in the area. And they got these little Celebration pizza rolls, brother. They're really, really good. GB, I know you were chowing down at that Pitt event, man.
Yeah.
That's great food, right?
Yeah. Actually, I shouted them out. I shouted them out in the last beer review when I did, when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't stopped drinking it since. But yeah, I shouted them out, man, because that food was delicious. It was a great time. Really was
good time, man. Wednesdays they got 45-cent wings. Listen, the one thing I like about Alex is he's not just a local bar owner. He's a local bar owner that's really into the community. He's always doing something different. It's like an event center, not just a local local watering hole, if you will, or what I call my man cave away from my man cave. So if you're in the Robinson area, or it's a really quick drive from Robinson, go check out my man Alex and Laura at Celebrations Bar, Banquet, and Grill on Steubenville Pike, man. Check them out. It's a great place.
You know what? I saw Double M shouting them out on the Twitters.
Yeah, Double M, he actually had a Super Bowl watch party there. Again, it's just something else that Alex does. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just something else that he does. So it's a good place. All right, man.
Real quick, that actually gave Double M brownie points, not the other way around. Because he hangs out at Celebration, not because not the other way around. Let's keep that.
Celebration gives him the points. Exactly.
Yes. He gets points because he goes to Celebrations, not the other way around. The end.
So this is a different free agent conversation that we've had for the last 19 years. We don't know. Yeah. We know, but we don't know, like, what are the Steelers going to go after? Because, as you know, we're not necessarily in the name predicting game because a lot has to happen, and it's really a crapshoot when you say, I think this guy's going to come to the Steelers. The Steelers should go after this guy based on name alone. And some of those names come from fantasy football. They come from your own Madden trades and all that stuff.
I was a GM in Madden, and what I did was
I turned a salary cap off. GB, your top, and this is what I want to do, and I want everybody again in the chat to weigh in. What are your top 3 positions? Let's start there so we can. So then we can maybe go look at a few names, and I have a few names that and again, these are all preliminary thoughts right now, and I really want to break down and go into these free agents as well as guys with 1 or 2 years left on their contracts, because we could also talk about trades. But for right now, the top 2 or 3 positions that you would go after if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Top 1, quarterback. We got to figure that out first, and then I can then we can go into some other things because
True.
I mean we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing yet, and he might not be there. So if he's not it, then who?
Yeah. And Adam, are those your priority order?
And let me ask you a question, dude. Are you comfortable running with Will in 2026? Off the rip? Nah, because there's nothing proven there.
There's nothing there. No,
definitely not. Looking at May. So they're going. So let's figure out where they're going to go there first.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a feeling it's going to be Rodgers, but that's number one. You got to solidify that. Okay.
Okay.
And then second, I would say I'm not going to say receiver because I feel like that should be a draft thing because of some of the talent that we can get in the draft. Like
100%.
So I would say receiver would be number 2. Okay. Right, because I'm thinking of it from a offensive minded coach now too. It's a different situation now, right? I need to get weapons, right? And I got to get weapons that I can trust, and Aaron going to want weapons I can trust. So so I'll say that, and then, man, the guard thing is O-line is something I'm not comfortable with at the moment. With
Can I ask you a question?
I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, him being gone. Can I ask you a question? And as anybody knows, I saw this on Twitter, and I wanted somebody to verify this for me. Is McCormick, was he a left guard in college, and then they moved him to right? Or was he always a right guard? Because I don't want to see them do another Kevin Dotson and McCormick playing. Again, he played pretty well, but he also had his moments where he wasn't playing well. Yeah. And I don't want to see that happen again where he goes to another team and Lord knows he becomes an all-pro. I'm not saying he's going to be, but I'm just saying. So here, so how about like Adam said, he was talking about guard, wide receiver, and safety, and he was assuming that will be with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't want to make
any assumptions
until it's confirmed.
Yeah, exactly. Another one outside of a young QB, stud wide receiver, safety depth on both lines. I agree with you, all 100%.
I don't disagree with any of that.
Derpy, GB, I'm gonna be real. The Steelers ain't getting nobody I want at all, so I don't care. So I could care less what happens after the draft. Okay. Well, and
what do you mean by that? Wait, tell me unpack that.
I'm gonna go back. Look, I want to.
What you mean by that? Unpack it a little bit. Give me a little bit more clarification. I'm more than happy to address what you're saying. I just need to get more clarification on what
maybe his follow-up here came up and said, I'm still upset the fact we drafted an O-lineman over JSN.
Oh,
yeah.
Mean, you gotta build the trenches first. I mean, I don't disagree because I don't disagree with the philosophy, right?
Yeah.
I love JSN, and I'm that's what I'm saying. This is a different regime now, so I think you might see something a little different.
Yins y'all's got listen, you got it, man. A celebratory pod when release Jonnu Smith.
Did they do it already? Is it done?
No.
I was curious because I saw some people was getting like Miami was in a fire sale today. So
Miami's just selling everybody. I don't know. Yins y'all, if they have if you post, if they have it, I will go over and grab myself a shot of something right now. If that man was if I was released. Because that was the biggest disappointment. We were all excited when we traded for him and thinking we were going to do something crazy. And then what had happened was nothing. So let me ask you this, GB. And you guys talked about a quarterback. So what are our strategies outside of Aaron Rodgers? These are your free agents that I pulled up here on Sport Track, one of my favorite websites. Okay. You have Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers. We're going to skip Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Flacco. Don't tell me you want Joe Flacco if you don't want Aaron Rodgers, but you want Joe Flacco. That doesn't make any sense at all. Kenny Pickett, Stop it. Jimmy G, he's a little too old now. You got Trubisky, Keenum, Trey Lance, Brandon Allen. Like, you don't have a lot. Again, a lot of people looking at Malik Willis, possibly. But I think he is – I don't know if I want to give him the keys to the kingdom yet either at $20+ million, or they say $10 million. But I think he's going to make a lot more than that because of the lack of young talent coming out because everybody went back to college.
Well, real quick, Daniel Jones really isn't going to be on that list. Indianapolis is they're not going to let him go.
You would think,
because they're already talking about getting rid of Anthony Richardson. So I don't think they're going to let him go.
They're not going to ride with Riley Leonard.
Hell no, no shade to Riley Leonard, but Daniel Jones was playing some good football, and if there was going to be a dude that could do what Sam Darnold did, it would be him. Like, he kind of fits that profile. You know what I mean? Like, his first stop wasn't great at all. Ironically, he was also in New York. Must be something about that city. I don't know.
Right. Trey Lance, Malik Wilson, Mariota wouldn't be bad. No, and I think Malik Willis would be the best out of those three.
I mean, I don't know if it'd be good, though. I'm cautiously optimistic on Malik Willis, like cautiously optimistic. Now, if, LaFleur and McCarthy got on the phone and LaFleur's like, yeah, he the real deal, you might want to go ahead and get him, then all right. And if they did sign him, I would say that conversation happened. Dudes, I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think it would. I mean, I do think, there would be a phone. Well, again, I think anybody that signs Malik Willis or interested in Malik Willis is going to have a conversation with LaFleur.
This is a very sad list, by the way.
It's a very, very sad list. I mean, that's what I want people to honestly say, and I'm not leaning one way or the other.
And that's why I said quarterback.
Who is actually – because here's my opinion. And I can hear a case for Malik Willis. But if you're going any of these dudes, I'd rather just see what I have in Will or in Mason. Maybe it's Mason because Will probably won't be ready because he didn't play at all last year. Again, other than practice. And then you roll your dice in 2027. But that's not how the Steelers roll. They're going to try to go all in and either mean Rodgers or they may go for Malik Willis. Or I'm going to tell you what I don't want. I don't want Anthony Richardson here. I don't want anything like it's too much of a project, and it's not that good of a quarterback. I mean, he can make some highlights with his feet. But we'll see. I don't want him here. So this free agency in the quarterback position is not really good. Maybe there's a trade in there somewhere. We have to go look through some of the backup quarterbacks that can come in here and compete. But I would actually think they're going to go this route. And just to see, because I don't know how much of it's coach speak when McCarthy says he likes Will Howard, or how much so much of it is, I'm going to say that because he's on the roster. I don't know what that is, so we have to see what that's going to entail, and we'll go from there. But yeah, this free agent quarterback room is not really good. They're going to have to try to get one in a draft. And GB, what have you seen? And would you take a flyer on the Penn State quarterback, like in the third round?
What Penn State quarterback? Drew Allen. We already got him. His name is Mason Rudolph. I don't know. No. He's actually he ain't even. You know what? I apologize, Mason. No, I shouldn't even go that far. No. That's not.
Thank you.
Ain't it.
I mean, I'm just asking a question. I'm making conversation. Don't yell at me.
That ain't it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want. He's too much of a project, too much of a head case.
Yeah. He's not it, bro.
Yeah. You know what, Derpy, Nessmeyer, because he's shown promise prior.
Yeah.
The Ole Miss guy Chambliss is going back to school, which that's a whole nother can of worms that I started talking. Yeah, I think that's just a problem with college football, and that's another subject at another time. But
I don't even care about that. I care more about the fact I just wanted his ass in the draft, and because I wanted the Steelers to take a flyer on him. And I don't like all the other stuff notwithstanding. It's literally selfishly like that was the dude. I was like, all right, they get him in the third, fourth. I was like, okay, this will be interesting. At least it'll pique my interest at least because I like that dude's skill set. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want him the Alabama QB either. I think that is no. I don't think. Listen, he's one of these college quarterbacks that I've seen really good in a clean pocket, but as soon as that pocket gets a little muddy, he tends to kind of crumble up a little bit. And I think that's also the thing with Drew Aller from Penn State too. These guys can operate in a clean pocket, but once things get a little muddy, they're not very effective.
And dude, let's talk a little bit real quick outside of the this free agent list, like trade off. People have been talking about trade opportunities with like the Kyler Murrays of the world and Mac Jones and stuff like that. That also does not interest me, not one bit. Like the Tua stuff, like that, I'm not interested. Like that's all mid-level stuff. And I was a fan of Sam Darnold when he was at USC, and I was honestly surprised that he played so poorly when he went to the Jets. Because Sam Darnold, like if you watch Sam Darnold at USC, he was on it. He was above average, neck up. You know, he had a decent arm, and he in the right scheme, and then he finally got the right scheme, and that's why he's balling now. I don't see any of that in any of these dudes. That's the problem. All these dudes are very, very, very mid. Daniel Jones would be the best opportunity, and that would be if Indy wasn't trying to mess with him. But I don't see that happening.
No, and I'm not paying $30 million or so for Daniel Jones either. Let's face it, the future Steeler quarterback of the future, more than likely is not on this roster. As much of a hopeful fan I am of Will Howard, but the thing is, he has to do it at this level to be even hopeful. I just like the moxie. I like the smartness he showed. I don't care what John Gruden said, but I do like what I saw when he was with John Gruden. That's what gives me hope. But again, you have to take it from the classroom and put it on the field. If you don't put it on the field, you're not playing at all. It doesn't matter how smart you are.
Yeah,
I don't know. Go ahead. No, I don't even know where the Kyler Murray wish comes in, other than it's just a name. It's like, let's go get this guy. He's a former number one pick. I believe he's number one. I can't remember if he's number one or number two. Because Kyler Murray will tear it up in weeks 1 through 6 every year. Then that man just
I think they said McCarthy likes him.
Yeah, and that's the part that scares me with this quarterback like Kyler Murray is if Mike McCarthy likes him. This is uncharted territories with an offensive-minded head coach that is going to probably put more chips on the offensive side of the ball as he is on the defensive side of the ball. Exactly. Although I do like our defensive staff right now.
Yes.
So it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but.
And here's what the cool part is, dude. It's not like on the defensive side of the ball. Like there's way less, in my opinion, there's way less holes to fill. Like you have a lot of good up and coming. Like you've invested great draft. Like you've drafted great, and that gives you an advantage, right?
Yeah.
When you get a Derek Harmon, Y.A. Black, Keanu Benton, Peyton Wilson, Nate Herbig, JPJ, all within the last 3 years, dude. Like you're doing very well. You know,
I like Yinzer Y'all's thought there of Jameis would at least be an entertaining press conference. He would be Jameis would actually increase the viewership of the fan. 93.7
definitely go 9-8. We go 9-8 for sure.
Yeah, not. But I'm gonna wrap up the quarterback conversation again. We're gonna keep talking about this in future episodes, but just this conversation itself should there's very limited options,
right,
for it, and which makes you think that if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, he's coming back, and the only hope that he comes back is he's familiar with the system. They throw the ball down the field a little bit more. They're gonna tailor the offense for him for 1 year, and maybe it's Will Howard's the backup. And again, this is just thinking future because Mason's not going to be the future. So that's why I'm not even mentioning him. That's why you have a young quarterback on it. You hope that it is the future, but he may not be. And then if you are Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard's a backup. And then if Will Howard's not showing you anything, then you got 2027 to go get your guy when there's going to be a pretty high selection of quarterbacks. And the other guy that not a lot of people are saying something about for the draft, we'll talk about him in the draft, because this man's got like a Kenny Pickett type of a bust to him. And I love me some Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's going to be in the NFL for 10 plus years as a backup. He's going to do his thing. But Cade Klubnik from Clemson could be like a taller version of like a Drew Brees, or he can also be like a Kenny Pickett-esque where he just doesn't seem to grasp at the NFL level. It looks like there's a little bit of both. So it's very slim pickings in the draft this year as well as free agency. So, but yeah, and then Mason's a jag, man. He's just a guy. So,
right.
Another big thing on the offense that I want to talk to everybody about, that a big decision, left tackle.
Yeah.
Are you guys, I mean, again, a lot of this depends on the medicals, but are we looking at left tackle in free agency or high up in the draft? Because you're not going to give him his fifth-year option. I mean, Jones is coming back, but you're not going to give him his fifth-year option because of his medicals. Are you rolling with this guy, or are you giving him a chance with Campen?
I gotta find out what's going on with that neck, bro.
That's what I mean.
Before we even go, and I'm assuming the worst. So with that said, because I don't have any knowledge on what's going on with his neck, I'm going to assume that this may even be, because when you're dealing with that part of your body, man, you just never know. That could you can go from playing to retirement like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know what's happening there. And so I always got to assume the worst. Like, all right, what if he can't even play anymore because his neck's all messed up? So I feel like they will be addressing left tackle in some way. Maybe, I mean, we have a plethora of picks, right? Mm-hmm. So we can target, like, if this becomes, let's just say hypothetically speaking, it does become something where he has to retire. Yeah. And they don't like what's on the board, as far as like free agency left tackles, and they want to go down for dude to go with Fautanu, because you know what you got as the right. So it wouldn't be a bad idea, right? If you needed to go down, because for a left tackle, bro, for a Pro Bowl left tackle, you can get that at like 15. You can get that in the top 20. Yeah. So if you needed to go down to get a guy that is that dude, that may be an interesting strategy. And honestly, now the more I'm thinking about it, that might be a strategy either way, because either way, I don't think they're going to stick with Broderick. I think if Broderick will be around, he might be around. Like, if his neck is good, he may be around the NFL a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think he'll be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Correct. And I wanted to put this up here because if you are going to give Broderick a chance to come back from his injury, if you look at the market values for these left tackles, So these tell you these guys are going to be journeyman tackles.
Yeah.
But it could be enough, and I don't know. Again, it depends on what camp and if any of these guys that he's familiar with from previous jobs or anything like that. You might be able to get one of these tackles to pair with Broderick and go from there. Now, there's one guy you got down here is a projected of $20 million. So the Rasheed Walker from the Green Bay, he's 26, so he's probably obviously he was not around with McCarthy. But you can see he's coming off this rookie deal because that's what he was making right there. So he seems to be the big one here, obviously 26 years old. But everybody else, these look to be like guys they're either journeymen. Some of these younger guys here might just be coming off their rookie deals. I'm not sure. But there's some depth here.
That Dallas dude would have had some time with McCarthy.
Yeah. So we'll see because
I don't know anything about him though.
Yeah. Listen, I'd be lying to say if I know everything about all these guys. I don't know much at all. And yeah, Mark, it's 100%. The way BJ got injured, I don't like the way it was. I don't like that visual. That seems like that's could be something that he's gonna.
Yep.
I saw that. It's like, you know what? Is this man gonna play again?
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yes.
And if that's the case, then left tackle, especially if you bring someone like Aaron back, that becomes maybe your top priority.
Right. Absolutely.
So that would shift everything.
Everything.
And you might be looking at this dude from Green Bay down here, this top available guy, or whatever, or you're trading up to go get a left tackle, and I have to go see who the top tackle is.
Right. Like
you gotta go
plug
get
and play, you already know that he's that guy. Who's that? Because I haven't really. It's not combine season yet, so I haven't really dove
very soon. No,
it is right, but I don't dive into these early mocks that don't make no sense to me. I like to see what the dudes do on the field, at least in shorts, and then kind of pair that to what the stuff I've seen in games and stuff, and then put it all together. So, but who's the guy? There's a dude, Fano, Fano.
What school?
I gotta Google it. Somebody help me out on the Twitters. Yeah, somebody out there in the help me Twitter brother out. Help a brother out.
Figure out what the there's a couple of sites probably already have him rated wherever he's rated too, so I'm not sure. So Glenn's here, real Glenn saying a Utah tackle. I'm not sure what the name is, but we might be able to look it up.
That sounds right. I think that sounds right. Let me do a quick Google search.
He said Spencer is his name. Thinks his first name.
Spencer Fano. Yeah, I was gonna say Spencer, but I didn't want to completely butcher the dude's name and just be completely off. But yeah, I remember there was just stuff you see on the Twitters from time to time. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Yeah, Big Rail, I got you, brother. I know that's your name, it's your alias. He says Big Rail Lane. Appreciate you joining in, brother. 100%. So
other than that, Mauga too. I remember him, dude from Miami.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I think I'm going to put this tweet up here before I want to get into this defense talk because this is going to be fun. We got plenty of time to talk about more of the free agency as well as the draft and all that kind of stuff, right? So let me show you where this segment and this thought of mine came through. This was posted on the Twitters. You guys remember seeing this? Now, the years...
I didn't see this.
Okay. So, since 2000, and I'm trying to see who... I'm not sure. This was a football account. This wasn't just some knucklehead Seattle fan or Baltimore fan. The disrespect on this graph
I'm appalled.
Is insane. Now, here's the thing. All of these teams are obviously very good. I went through and I looked at a lot of the Super Bowl champions from 2000 to 2025.
I got to compose myself for a second. Go, keep talking.
And I'm looking at these, and I said, this isn't true. This has to be a little bit, I don't want to say biased, because I'm going to sound like I'm going to contradict myself here in a little bit. But I'm like, there's no way this has to be the rankings. And again, this is subject to everyone's personal opinion, so I'm not going to necessarily knock for somebody for putting out a list, because we're all going to put out a list, and we're all probably going to have different lists. But how much research did somebody do with this? Or is this a case of recency bias and the fact that the 2000 Ravens are the ones that get all the accolades? And I get it, deservedly so for a lot of their categories. I hate that thing, I'm telling you. So when I started doing some of this research, and let me pull this off the screen because I'm going to set up what I did here. I wanted to go through and look at categories. So what do we mean whenever we do research is we want to quantify what we're looking at. What are the qualifiers of this? Okay. The qualifiers are, when I'm going to bring up a chart, you're going to be able to see all of those 8 teams that were listed in a qualifying chart. Okay.
Yep.
And GB, please poke a hole in some of these, what I'm looking at. Now, again, looking at Pro Football Reference, a couple other databases that I trust. It's not Wikipedia. It's not PFF. I want to look at that season in its totality. Look at their NFL defensive rank overall, what they were against the rush and the pass, the points per game, total yards per game, then pass and rush yards per game. I want to look at their turnovers. Did they have splash plays? I want to look at the number of sacks that they had. Mm-hmm. What was their third down percentage? What else was here? Red zone TD percentage. Average. Here's also one that's a little bit more of an advanced stat, but I believe it also indicates how dominant they were when they were on the field. Average number of plays per drive. So how many plays did they give up? Did they give up long drives or did they get off the field? Right? The average number of plays per drive as well as the average time of possession. So in other words, that is an indicator of were there a lot of 3 and outs. And then here's the big one, and I'm actually remember this, and I put this stat on here because I saw a snippet of Mike Tomlin's interview with the Pivot, how he was just cutting on Gardocki and how bad of a punter he was that year in 2008. And so the average field position that the opposing offenses started on. So obviously the higher that number, the more of a bind that the defense is put into. These numbers are staggering. They're not what you think.
Uh-oh.
So drum roll, please. I'm going to go and put this up, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. All right.
Uh-oh.
So the green represents the top category. Across left to right are the teams, the 08 Steelers, the 2000 Ravens, the Bucs, Seahawks, both Seahawks teams, Broncos, Packers, Eagles. As you can see, the Packers Packers weren't number one in anything. Of course, they beat the Steelers. But look at the 2000. And then, by the way, there's a follow-up slide to this that's going to justify and not justify some of this. If you look at the Steelers, 1-1-2 against the rush. The only team that competes, did anybody know this? The 2015 Broncos were 1-1-3.
Yeah, they did have a good.
Right.
You know what? They did have a very, very good defense.
That's the year that they beat, the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Obviously, a year after getting smacked by Seattle in the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom was 1-1-7. So you can look at these statistical rankings, and then you look at the points per game. The Steelers were at 14, at 10 for the Ravens. Obviously, that was mind-boggling.
That was a crazy, crazy defense.
12 points per game, 17, 14, 18, 15, and 17. You're seeing a lot of like common trends. A lot of these defenses, when they're number one against the pass as well. Passing yards per game, the Buccaneers just beat the Steelers by about a yard, 155-62 to 156-93. The Steelers' running game defense would have been great if it wasn't for the damn Ravens. The 60 yards rushing per game. My God. But that's what happens when you have Saragusa and Sam Adams up the middle.
And that 08, you wasn't running. It just wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? That 08, that run game, Kiesels, Hamp, and Aaron Smith, nope, you ain't getting shit.
Not at all. 51 sacks, only to be edged out by the Broncos, right? 52. Here's what's odd. The Ravens only had 35 sacks that year. Now, granted, they didn't pass as much, but only 35 sacks. The red zone TD, the average number of plays per drive, you can see it's right around 5, but the 5.3 was third lowest. And look at the average time per drive. Here's the field position. Only the Seahawks this year, 30.6. So the average starting position was 31. That's how bad the Steelers punter was.
Jesus.
And then the number of what do you call it? Number of points in the playoffs. The Steelers gave up because I do think that's because they played some better teams. But the Ravens, 4 games and 23 points was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And you could see, but again, as you get later in these years, it's more of an offensive league, and some of the teams are going to score, right?
And not only that, but it's a different, like, even like the kickoffs are different. Like there's a whole different type of special teams element. You know what I mean? Now versus then. So that's even more impressive for the Steelers of 08 because nowadays, shoot, you can screw up a kick and get the ball at the friggin' the 40. You know,
yeah.
that changes the whole. That changes everything, So
here's what I did because I wasn't looking up every single one. I took the top 4 on here, in my opinion, and unfortunately, the Legion of Boom barely was out just because of their overall rankings. Though I think they may have been a better defense in Denver, but a lot of this stuff was really eye-popping. Denver just beat them in a lot of the statistics here. So I included the Broncos, and I would actually go back and look at this. And if somebody wants to do some of this research as well, but on the Legion of Boom, with this year's Seahawks, great Super Bowl, but the rest of the year, get out of here. Packers and Eagles as good as they were that year as well. So let's look at the top 4 because this is where Mark was talking about this, the brutal schedule. Okay. Now, remember all of these numbers that the Ravens had. Gabe, if I was you, I would not have a drink or be sipping a drink when I switch to the next chart, please. Here are the quarterbacks they played that year and their offensive rankings.
Come on. Yeah.
If I was the 2000 Ravens playing Kent Graham, Jay Fiedler, Scott Mitchell, Achilles Smith, Ryan Leaf, Jake Plummer, Vinny Testaverde, Cordell Stewart. Hey, Cordell Stewart, who actually beat them.
But wait, it gets worse. It was kind of slim pickings even in the postseason. Gus Frerotte. Now McNair's a real one. Let's keep that.
And McNair, and I'll even say Rich Gannon was a good one as well.
Rich Gannon was a real one.
Kerry Collins in the Super Bowl.
Kerry
He was
Collins
okay.
Kerry Collins ate up the Steelers all the time, though.
He was basically
eat us up. He used to eat us up. Man.
Yeah. He was a system guy.
Titans and Giants ate us up.
So if everybody looks at this, the quarterback name and what their team's offense was ranked that year. Yes, I looked all of this up. I'm a nerd. Okay. They faced 3 top 10 defenses that year, did the Ravens. To Mark's point about the 08 Steelers, they faced 6. Well, so did all the other defenses. But if you look, and I forgot to center the – can I still center this? Let me see if I can – can I still center this just to make it look easier? Let's see. Text. There we go. Matt Schaub, Derek Anderson, McNabb, Flacco, Garrard, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was playing for the Bengals at the time, Eli, Jason Campbell, which was bad down in Washington. Yeah, you played Peyton, Phillip Rivers, Matt Castle. We definitely dodged the Brady bus that year.
That's when he
Romo,
tore his ACL,
Gary Collins,
right?
and Gronkowski. Yeah,
that's when Brady tore his ACL.
Yeah, that year in the first game of the year. But then we played Phillip Rivers, Flacco, and then Hall of Famer Kurt Warner in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Here's where and these obviously Tampa Bay did their thing as well at 6, but just by the name, and maybe it's because it's more recent, but look at the quarterbacks that the Broncos went through, especially in the playoffs.
I was looking at that.
Ben, Brady, and Newton.
I was like, yo.
But if you remember, if it wasn't for Stu Vaughn, the Steelers would have won that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't like they dominated the game.
Stu Vance, and then
Stu Vance.
Fumbled one of them backups. one of them backups we was working with because Le'Veon was out.
Yeah. Yep. So does this change anybody's minds about and again, I'm not saying the 2000 Ravens were a bad defense. They were a historic defense. But damn it, the 2008 Steelers need to get a lot more love than what they get for any of these defenses. Right? 2002 Bucks, 100% legit. Like, to me, those are the top 3. Denver is going to be 4, but to me, 08 Steelers, Ravens, and Bucks, I can honestly accept an argument for either of those being number 1. But my gripe is the Steelers' defense is never mentioned with the greats in this era.
Right.
And that's what really burns my ass. Okay. I'm
looking at Aikman. Aikman. That was like the way back Aikman. He was 25th in the league at the time. You know what though? He never really had amazing stats.
No, it was built. He was obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback, but they were built off that damn running game.
Yeah, Emmett helped them out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Paris. We're not cutting on Kenny in that sense too. It's just Kenny. Listen, I love me some Kenny Pickett, man. It's just it is what it is, man. I mean, he definitely. I don't think he's gotten his fair shake yet in the NFL. But
Paris, you want to run it back with Kenny Pickett? Shame the devil, tell the truth.
Yeah, I love me some Kenny Pickett, man. But like I said, you're 100% right with the OC. But I'm just saying he's not necessarily was built for the NFL right now.
All that withstanding, he can have a story just like you think he could be the next Sam. Can he be the next Sam Darnold? Tell the truth.
I hope so.
Would you put? No, I'm asking Paris. The dude who put that up. The dude that had. Would you? I'm shamed. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Would you take Kenny Pickett right now and run with him in 2026? I wouldn't. Nope.
Hey, you know what? I think he's what Kenny got to find, and I hope he does. He's just got to find a team and stay with the team and develop with that team and said OC. Then he might have a chance because Sam Darnold switched after he got on with San Francisco with that offensive coordinator. and that's where he started his development. So Kenny could very well have that. Absolutely, he could very, very well have that.
Yeah.
All right. So my rankings, and let me see if anybody here disagrees. I'm about to be real biased. Right? This is where I think that they
rank. Son.
To get to 10, I threw the Giants in there just because of what they did at the Super Bowl. And we forget about these boys.
No, I ain't forgot.
By the way, I'm going to make those he won with Cowers players feel real stupid in about a minute. 2005 Steelers were also a very, very good defense. Anybody disagree with this list? And I got one more slide to show you.
So what I was actually going to say, when you had the other list up,
which one?
It was ironic. The original ones. I was going to say it was ironic right here. I was like, it's ironic that the team that I actually thought had the most dominant performance in a Super Bowl isn't even on the list, but you have it on your list as number 10, which is the New York Football Giants. The way that they handled the undefeated New England, like, let's talk about, you know what I mean? Let's talk about who, the competition. You talk about competition, man. The way they handled Tom Brady and Randy Moss and them with a 4-man rush, mind you, was absolutely like, it was the most unbelievable performance, one of the most unbelievable performances I've seen. The way that they dominated that line of scrimmage, man, with them 4 boys.
And I think it's really, and I looked at that, and I don't remember their stats because I did not write them down. They were more of a pretty good defense than they got hot in the playoffs, and obviously they did their thing in the Super Bowl. Probably outside with Seattle this year, one of the best Super Bowl performances. Then you go back to the Steelers versus Vikings in Super Bowl 9 type of, then you had a couple of those Cowboys defenses in the 70s and that did their thing. The Raiders, I think, did it to Minnesota one year. So
that Giants team too was a Cinderella darling because
they were.
I remember when they played New England in the regular season too.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win the game, but they kept it like real. It was real close, and that was right around the time where Tom Coughlin. They was talking about fire Coughlin, and they had to win out to get to the even get to the playoffs. They ended up winning out to get to the playoffs, and then after that, man, they went on the tear. But that performance, who was it? It was Jason Pierre-Paul,
Michael Strahan, O.C. Minor,
and then the dude from Notre Dame,
O.C. Minor. I forget the other guy.
The dude he went to Notre Dame. I can see his head. He kind of looked like Calibus.
Yeah.
Justin Tuck. Yeah. Them dudes was bad. Them dudes was killing it, bro.
So that's why I put the Giants in here to get to 10 teams, just to give myself, a top 10 defenses that I feel from 2000 to 2025, and obviously we count the 2026 Seahawks, but it's the same thing. Okay. So what about the 2008 versus the 2005 Steelers?
Uh-oh.
We're going to be a homer here for about 2-3 minutes here, and let's compare the Steelers defenses. Cowers players. Okay, here you go. What do you think about these? Number overall ranking, 1 versus 4. First to pass, 1 versus 16. Rank against the rush, 2 versus 3. Points per game, 13.93, 16.12. Both are fantastic stats. And let's not forget, it was more of a passing league in 08. 237 to 284. 150 passing yards. Look at this, 08. But rushing per game, okay, 08. They got one more turnover, Third down percentage was lower. They got more sacks. They were better in the red zone. They gave up less amount of plays, less drives. And although the defense here gave up a lot less points in the playoffs.
That's in 4 games.
That's in 4 games too. So, and here's where I'm saying that I'm going to give the 05 team some credit. And by the way, I just said the whole Cowers players thing just to ruffle some feathers for anybody that's watching. This is where it's really impressive, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. The 05 Steelers played against 9 top 10 offenses.
Yeah.
So they're very impressive.
All those offenses, not really, I wasn't really concerned about Denver, right? But the Bengals, the Colts, and the Seahawks all had outstanding offenses. All of them.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
And the way that they stifled Seattle in the Super Bowl and only giving up 10 points in the Super Bowl to because wasn't that Alexander's? Wasn't that Sean Alexander?
Sean Alexander. I think it was a year after he dominated fantasy football.
But wasn't he an MVP one year? He was either an MVP or the top 3 in the MVP, and I think that was the year because he was running on everybody.
Oh yeah, he was. He was either MVP that year or the year before.
Yeah, Daryl Jackson was a dude. You know what I mean? Like they had some pieces over there. So yeah, that was and then that Peyton Manning 05 was probably their best team. If we're really telling the truth, like they won in 06, but that probably was their better team. That team was dope.
Hey, they were very good because they had Joseph Adai and Edgerrin James.
Yes,
and Dwight Freeney. Okay, Mark said it. He was MVP in 05, so he was the MVP when the Steelers played him.
There it is.
He was talking about Alexander, so you were right on that one.
Yeah, Sean Alexander, yeah.
Hey, remember there's that old adage in football, it's not about who you play all the time, it's about when you play them?
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about, earlier this year when we thought that, and we were hoping that the Buffalo fire Tomlin chance was that turning point after the Houshmandzadeh, similar to Houshmandzadeh shining his shoes. Did the Steelers play after that game? Did they pick a good time to play some real shitty offenses the next 4 games? It's about when they play them.
Ain't that the truth?
Kyle Orton led Chicago Bears. Brad Johnson at that time, and he was old after winning the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. Charlie Fry, right, and Joey Harrington.
Joey freaking Harrington, bro.
With the Detroit Lions, right? And so really, really interesting rank. Excuse me with this, but I'm telling you guys, I know the Steeler fans don't. There's a lot of people that sleep on this 08 team. I don't understand it other than they just don't. Honestly, I'm not even going to make anything up. They just don't understand it, and it's kind of.
I think it's the optics. I think it's the optics of the Super Bowl because they gave up the lead.
Yeah,
I think that has, and the way that they gave up the lead, you see, Larry Fitz just running in the middle of the field past everybody on a basic slant. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the optics. And it was the narrative is Ben had to bail him out, right? Which he did. I mean, Ben did his thing. Let's not get it twisted. That's the greatest drive in my opinion in Super Bowl history. Like I know we got the Joe Montana and John Candy. Nah. Nope. Not how you ended the way that you ended that thing.
I would
Santonio, say not the Tony Toe, the OG Tony Toe tap.
I would say that those drives are equal, but Ben's throw to Santonio was better.
That's what I'm
than
saying.
Montana's to Rice. Or to John Taylor. I mean, not Rice.
Yeah,
John Taylor.
1,000%, bro. 1,000%. And that's that's the difference, right? But yeah, I think that's the reason why, though, is because of the way that the Super Bowl played out. But it's whatever.
Listen,
it's whatever.
It's all good. Man, listen, we're gonna have to start doing, and we will. Not to say we're gonna have to, like we weren't before. Get into some of the research bags. Let's talk about the draft coming up. We're gonna start giving you guys our opinions of draft targets. I'm gonna challenge GB to put on his coaching hat to give us some positional breakdowns that the guys that he likes. You know, there's certain players and positions he likes to follow. Like I like more of the quarterbacks and receivers. Not that GB doesn't, but he does. But he watches other positions more closely. And I think it's going to be a really cool, fun off season because then we're going to do our little mock drafts, and then we're going to see what we're going to do for the draft, man. I mean, we're going to have some cool things coming up for that too. So this is just getting started, man. I mean, I wanted to do one final thing about this year, which was this defense, because I saw that tweet and I'm like, man, I got to talk about this. And that kind of puts the bow on it.
Can I just tell you that I am thoroughly enjoying coaching 7-on-7 right now? And let me say this. I got to go on a little diatribe here before we go off the air.
Okay.
You might want to chop this up later on. It seems to me that some people get, you say one bad apple spoils the bunch. Sometimes the 7-on-7 scene gets a bad reputation based off of, adults not being mature, if you will, right? And I think that varies from organization to organization. And I want to give a shout out to PA Elite because they raise the standard. We don't deal with that type of riffraff or any of that type of stuff. And I've seen it. I've seen some crazy stuff. You know what I say? I say an empty truck makes the most noise, right? So all them people would be out there barking and hooping and hollering. Look, we didn't come here for that. We came here to make plays, develop kids, put them in a situation to compete and win. All the other stuff, we don't do all that, So I say all that to say that there are some very good organizations out here that really have the best interest in the kids, right? I wouldn't be a part of an organization that wouldn't, if that wasn't their standard, right? And I've been part of two organizations in particular, and they both have been Western Pennsylvania organizations. Sky Elite, give a shout out to them, and also PA Elite. They're two top-notch organizations, and just wanted to give them their flowers because they're doing it the right way at the end of the day. Some good solid dudes out there for real. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, man. Shout out to them. That's like I said, anytime you get to be around ball, whether it's flag, tackle, it's a good time, man. You can
hitting them and designing plays, do that. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord have mercy. I'll be in the lab, boy.
One of the things I'm gonna do for everybody, and I pulled this out and I started reading it. As I started reading this is my old college playbook, and I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna do all of this. I'm gonna do a couple solo videos that I'm just gonna record. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna post it up, during the week outside of our Monday night lives, right? Just our offensive philosophy that we had at Bobby Moe with Joe Walton and everything. A lot of similarities, but they're like some of today's offense, but they were just done with different positions. They were done with running backs and tight ends, and he was, the ace formation, which was the two tights, two backs, and two tights, one back, and two receivers.
Yeah,
what they call 22 now. there's some really cool things. I'm going to put a couple short videos together at some of these plays and going through some of these just to see, then people can digest it and see the similarities. And by the way, I have proof in this book that we were calling Omaha back in 1994. Peyton Manning stole it from us. I'm telling you. Wait, I'm telling you. We went this. Look, hold on. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna show everybody. Look,
that's hilarious.
Look, I'm gonna pull it up. You might not be able to see because look, this is old. Can you see right there?
Hey, bro, that was written on a typewriter.
Look,
your playbook was written on a typewriter, bro.
Omaha.
It is
the Omaha call.
I see it. Check with me. I see it.
Check with me. Omaha call. Exactly. Omaha. Get the hell out of here, Peyton.
Up that was typewriter. Right. I haven't seen that in forever. It may have been a word processor. Maybe not a typewriter. It might have been a word processor.
Bro, it's old, bro. It's old.
Jesus. Does it got white out in it?
Probably does. The best thing, the first couple of pages of that book were like what you should not do. You could tell it was the first year of having a team because we got to hand these playbooks to the players next year. So don't be marking this shit up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, listen, when you're on a budget, you got to be able to, when you're first starting a team out, man, you're on a budget. There's some things you got to cut back on. And I was like, listen, you're going to share these playbooks with these guys next year.
Yeah.
But it was funny just to see all these different play formations and similar, and then how they called the plays, man. You got the formation, and especially sometimes they purposely want you to come out in a different formation just to shift to another formation,
just to somewhere else,
show their hand, right?
Yeah.
You have one guy shifting, or you might have everybody shifting. It was running the same basic plays out of multiple formations. Like, keep in mind, guys, this was 1994. These basic football concepts don't change. It's about the window dressing. And Walton was a big stickler of that. And I just started reading through that again. And I just found a lot of it kind of, coming back to me. And I thought, you know what? Might do a couple of whiteboard sessions or do some other things to show some people, well, what we did back then. I think I have some tapes, but I got to go to a business and get them digitized because I don't have a VCR in the house.
So that's funny that you say that about the window dressing. That's exactly, I share the same offensive philosophy. So basic plays, switch up the window dressing, make it look like something different, but you run the same
stuff. Up something different, run them out of a different formation.
I did the exact same thing. And where I got it from was from Coach Kasparovich. Who's now at North Hills at a coaching clinic. He was showing off. He's like, man, I just set up the different window dressing, but they were big on doing wide receiver screens because he was a big Texas Tech follower. He loved
the Red Raider guy.
The Red Raider. Yeah, he loved the Red Raider. He loved their screen game, and based on offense, basically off of the screen game and in an RPO game off the screen game, right? Different formations and everything, and that's where I learned it from. But and it's no surprise to me that. Now that you even brought that out, it's no surprise to me that was the type of offense that you was in because of just based on our conversations and what have you. Like, I don't even know what type of book or what your formations were or anything, but just the way that our philosophies are very similar.
So if you look at this, a lot of this is. Look, you got split left, what they call toast. They call it a toast. It's a TOSC. Honestly, all it is, it's a 3-by-1 formation, but the 3 is the slot receiver, the fullback, and the tight end. That's the 3. Nowadays, it's tight ends or multiple receivers, right?
H-back, yeah.
H-backs, exactly. You had split right strong, where you had the halfback and the X receiver, which is what I played. On to the left, and then you stack the Z receiver or the flanker behind the tight end, hence the name stack.
Yeah.
So, right, there was all these different things that you did, and then a slot right. You had, a lot of times depending on the formation, the tight end takes over the X responsibilities, and then he inherits the X backside rules dictated by coverage, things like that. And I believe that's why whenever Joe Walton coached with the Steelers and they had the sputtering offense because nobody could get it. I mean, you legit had to know like everybody's position, with the exception of, for me, with the exception of the offensive line blocking, because I was never in line blocking. And it took me probably to week 5 or 6 my freshman year to even grasp the offense. But then what happened was I was one of the ones that grasped it the most, and it became like a player coach, if you will, or something like that. Because I was always the guy. We would run to the sideline, look at the ref. Am I good? Am I good? Yeah, I'm on the line. All right. You go back. Hey, what do I got on slot split? Something like just go deep. Just go deep. Because nobody knows. Just fucking go deep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun, but I think there's a lot of cool playbook and play stories, if you will, to go in there. So I'm going to put some of that together here this offseason. Hopefully everybody will enjoy it. All right, one last thing here. Mark brought this up. He said not to jump ahead here, and then we're going to get out of here. Not to jump ahead, but after watching this kid Levin from USC, he plays pissed off. It reminds me of Steve Smith Sr. We have a good history of drafting USC receivers. I've heard that, man. I've seen him play a few times, but to me, he is the most commonly mocked guy to the Steelers, is Lemon from USC. And Mark, if you're saying that's what he plays like, then yeah, that's what they need. And I think that would be. Do we know what's his size?
5'11", 195. But here's the thing though. That's the perfect, in my opinion, the way that he plays is the perfect dynamic to DK's game.
Yeah.
Because he'll be able to get off. Mekhi Lemon's gonna be able to get off, man. He reminds me. He said Steve Smith. I would say that as well. I would even give him more like an AB vibe too. Like he's legit. Like, and I'm talking about size and everything. Like where he is measurables and what have you. He's legitimate. I would. Like if we got Mekhi Lemon, I would feel very, very good about our 1-2 punch. And I'll just leave it at that. I feel very good.
As would I. I hear it a lot about him. I haven't watched a lot of his tape. I'm going to. The receivers are the first group that I'm going to dive into naturally.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to watch these boys and watch the combine. And listen, it's going to be good because this is a whole different set of criteria the Steelers are going to be looking for than they had.
Yes, I do record the combine and watch it back. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Because a lot of times I don't watch it live. I go back and watch it when I'm done because I'm out doing other stuff,
Absolutely. If I'm watching on my phone, I want to get a little bit, then I'm like, well, what did I miss? I go back and record, and then when I finally get to sit on my recliner, sit back and watch people running routes and doing drills.
Watch the drills, yeah. There's certain things you watch for inside the drills.
Yeah.
Because here, I'll leave you guys with this, and then GB can tell you where to find him, and we're going to get out of here. Is because you said it earlier. The combine's not the be-all, end-all, but the combine makes you go back and watch tape one way or the other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You either go, wait a minute, I got to go, wait, who is this guy? I got to watch this guy too. Then you get a guy who runs and does stuff at combine. I go, what? I thought he was, oh, wait, he might not be that good. So that's why I understand why some players don't necessarily participate, but there's that whole thing of competing.
The physical and mental component is so fun to watch because just because you are superiorly God-gifted athlete doesn't mean you can play football. And that's the part that amazes me all the time because all these dudes are so incredible when it comes to being an athlete. Yeah. Right. But there's a certain type of mentality, competitiveness that you have to have in addition to, and in a work ethic that you have to have in addition to all the other stuff. You have to be able to respond. Like, what's your R factor, in the midst of adversity? Do you, as Coach Tomlin says, do you smile in the midst of adversity or do you just like crumble? I've seen it both ways. Some of these dudes just crumble under pressure. Where other dudes, they rise above it. So that's the part that's fun to watch, to see how, people move on and not move on or whatever. And then you see it translate into the actual game, and then you watch that. So that's why I thoroughly enjoyed watching Seattle's run this year, because of Sam Darnold, because of the shit that he had to go through. You know what I mean? He 100%. Played such good ball in USC, and he looked like he was going to really do good for the Jets. I actually thought that he could do something, but then I was like, oh, it's the Jets though. And then Jets doing Jets things.
Jets and the Browns just single-handedly effing up the
Jesus. I tell you what, man. But that's the fun part. And you remember, like, when you see guys that are out there doing their thing in the Super Bowl, you remember, I remember seeing some of these dudes in the combine. So
yep.
So that's fun to watch too. Like, even guys that you forgot, you didn't even remember.
I'm not mistaken. Is the combine this week?
Is it this week already? Damn.
Yeah, and Yinzer, I love the day 3 gems. And no one knows they end up being absolutely. And a favorite day of the draft, I agree. Because you know why? Because when you get these guys that are drafted in day 3, a lot of your buddies go, "Who? I don't know this guy," and then you know who he is.
You know exactly who he is.
Then that's where they say on social media, ball.
Like when we saw Mason McCormick got drafted, we was all like, "Whoo!"
Right. I'm gonna look this up here. Scouting Combine 2026. February 23rd to March 2nd, so it's next week.
Next week.
Yeah, next week.
That.
So that'll be good stuff. So, GB, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me on the Twitters.
You can.
_Yinzers. Ain't that right? Levi. Also on Instagram and TikTok.
Is Levi on TikTok?
You know what? Sometimes damn working stories, man. Listen, he could hear his friends like right out this window, and so when he hears his friends, he wants to go out on the deck and greet them, and he couldn't do that because I'm podcasting, bro. He don't care.
Dogs. All right. Well, hey, as always, man, follow the Bird Cave on X. Like and subscribe to this channel. We're on our road to 1,000. We're getting there slowly but surely. We want to get to 1,000. We got some really cool content coming up with GB's shirt there. Beer we go. My man Craig Burton, college buddy of mine. Craig. We got some, it was great to rekindle with him. Him and I are building some cool things that we're going to be able to share with everybody here soon. And if you're a Pitt fan, come in. I know Yinzer y'all, we were talking with JJ Kitchen and others. GB will be there as well, I believe. February 28th at Celebrations for the Pitt event part 2. And we are working on a March date for the first Bird Cave Live there. But I'm going to tell you this, we're going to just only film a little bit of the event because I want it to be for people that come in. But we're going to film parts of it until we figure out how we can get a better viewing experience to stream the entire thing. It's going to be hard to do that with just a phone or a camcorder in a bar setting in a big banquet. GB knows what we're talking about. That banquet's very large, so we might have to do a few other things there. But it's all in the spirit of being able to hang out more together and hopefully create content that's an alternative to the other madness that's out there with the hot takes and all that other garbage. So
no doubt,
we appreciate everybody who's hung out with us. I think the Twitter bugs may have calmed down some of the people in here. I think so is what it is when the Twitter X bugs happen is what it is. But I'm very thankful for those who hung out with us tonight. We appreciate you guys, and we will see. 1 second here, Mark. Are you guys going to be at the draft in April? 100%.
Yeah, we're gonna be at the draft.
So anybody who is going to come up for the draft, man, let us know. We will all have a meetup and have a beer together if people are coming in for the draft. 100% be at the draft. Mark, I tell you, going to the NFL draft was a bucket list for me. How the hell am I going to pass that up when it's in my own damn city? I live 20 minutes away from the damn city. I'm definitely going.
And Big Rail probably going to bring the stickiest of the icky. Just let you know.
We're going to be able to tell where Big Rail's at. You over there.
Damn, Smokey.
Hey, Big Rail back here taking a shit. I ain't going to tell you. No, I'm kidding. Hey, man. If you know, you know. Yes. So we'll talk more, Mark. We'll definitely talk more about the draft as it comes up, but 100% we're going to be there if anybody, like I said, is coming up. Love to have a beer with you guys. But until next week, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Peace out.